Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. I am Prissy and we are doing a review on Ready to Love Season 3 Episode 5. If you guys are enjoying these videos, please be sure to subscribe. I got one more video to do and then I will be all caught up and ready for this weekend. And who knows, maybe if I haven't, no, I'm not going to say that. Not going to say that. Anyways, so subscribe and like this video, please. Alright, so I got my notes. Chris, Alex, and Bryan are working out, and they discussed the night prior with Bryan bouncing from room to room. Two of the ladies are going home today, and Rashid talks to Denise about calling him a narcissist. And check this out. Denise apologizes for Adriana, saying that, you know, she's too young to understand where I was coming from, and she feels like she met a lot of people. And with her meeting a lot of people, she's met a lot of people with different personality traits, and she knows what she's talking about. She's old enough to know better, is what she told Rashid. And I was just like, no, if you want to talk about age, you old enough to be able to own your faults and say when you were wrong. Like, I cannot stand when people just can't be wrong. Denise has a bad attitude, in my perspective. It's just been going downhill. Edwin and Nia have a conversation, and afterwards she says she has a decision to make. Alisha and Shay tell Winter, Chris, and Anthony about Bryan, you know, standing her up the night before and going to Alex's room instead. And the men agree that Bryan should have just kept it 100. Joy decides then to tell Winter about how Simone had approached her and Jay about seeing Jay going into Winter's room shirtless. Winter wants to go speak with Simone immediately. And Joy comes along too. Shay seems to be loving the tea, and Anthony clocked it. Shay's going home. Shay's just going home. She just doesn't seem to be there for the right reasons. Joy asks Simone why did she feel it was necessary to tell her she's seen Jay and Winter together. And Winter mentions, you know, how she painted her in a bad light by mentioning describing what they had on when going to her hotel room. Simone says she had a moment of insecurity and that she wouldn't do it again because she sees how she's hurt Winter by insinuating something promiscuous was going on. And they all began to cry for different reasons. Winter's feelings was hurt. Simone felt embarrassed. And, you know, all of those emotions just rubbed off. They crying, so it just naturally made Joy cry. And so she was like, she breaks the ice and like, can we go get some whiskey? So that was a cute little talk. Chris hollers at Bryan about what Alisha shared, and he holds him accountable. I felt like Chris really was a driving force in encouraging Bryan to talk to Alisha. He says, you got to go put this fire out right now, and that's exactly what's going on. It's spreading like wildfire. What's going on? The news about the night prior. While they're talking, Shay is talking to Alex, and she tells her something she didn't know. Alex wasn't aware about the whole Alisha situation, because that morning when it was Chris and her outside, and Chris asked Bryan about the date, you know, he began to shift it to him stopping by Alex's room. So that was news to Alex that, you know, that he had left from Alicia's room. Alisha pops up, and while they're talking, while Shay is telling Alex this, and she suggests that, you know, her and Alex go talk solo dolo. And because, you know, honestly, Shay, this wasn't your business to tell. It wasn't your business to tell, and Anthony caught it. Chris, no, we ain't gonna talk about Chris yet. Bryan said he zombied Alisha, not ghosted her. He has all these like different like figurative speech for stuff, and it just sounds like a bunch of excuses, really. That he says he has issues with rejecting people while talking to Chris, and Alisha seems upset and requests that Alex has Bryan come speak to her. So she does, and when they're talking, she tells him, like, you know, my feelings are hurt. Like, I felt really dumb. And Bryan apologizes, but Alisha just really wants him to know that she's no longer, you know, pursuing him any further. Joy and Jay talk, and she informs him about, you know, Winter now knowing, and and how that they all three of the ladies had conversed about what had took place. And I noticed that she left out that she was the one who told Winter. She was just saying like, so it had got back to Winter, and that really could be irrelevant. It was just something that kind of stuck out to me. um Jay says he's not with it. He say she say. I'm sorry, y'all. That mulatto song, he say she say, popped in my head as soon as I said it. Anyway, Jay uses this to cozy up to Winter, or I'm sure he was gonna cozy up to her anyway, but Winter doesn't even want to talk about it. So instead of talking about that, they just begin to compliment each other. I can. You really have this presence when you come into the room. It's just you don't have to even say anything because your presence speaks for you. And Jay was all just eating it all up. Um. Anyway, speaking of compliments, Calfani had a lot of likes that he had to say about Adriana in his confessional, and they all started playing checkers, and it does seem like Calfani can swing it either way when it comes to Denise and Adriana. Denise is his number one, but it looks like Adriana is a close second. Okay. Chris chooses Nia as a connection when they're talking to. So now they're talking to Uncle Tommy. It's time to make a decision, about who's going home. And Edward says he vibed with Nia that morning over breakfast, and he also says that he's feeling joy. I'm not sure who Anthony's feeling right now at this moment, but he does say he ain't feeling Shay. Rashid isn't feeling Denise, and he begins to share with the men what he found out through Adriana about Denise's comments. Bryan is ready to send Alisha home because his ass got caught up. And Uncle Tommy called him on that. He's like, oh, so now you ready for her to go home because you got caught up. So two ladies are going home, as I said, and it's between Denise, Shay, and Alisha. Edwin talks to Shay, and she goes home. Calfani talks to Denise, and it was a very surprising conversation. I saw a different side of Denise. She is definitely feeling Calfani because she received what he was saying. She humbled herself and she actually listened. She wasn't on that, you can't tell me nothing. She wasn't on that, I said what I said. She just, she received it. I thought she was going home. No, she thought she was going home. I knew she wasn't going to go home because Anthony actually has an interest in her as well. But we'll get to that. But nope, it was Alisha who ended up going home because she's only had an interest for Bryan. She really kind of friend zoned all the other men there. So once Bryan decided that he's not feeling her anymore, that just really sealed her time on the show at that point. Alicia's currently pregnant, and like pregnant, like baby shower, about to welcome the baby into the world, pregnant. And Chris has said that she was pregnant while on the show, but then he let her backtrack and pussy pop and said and recanted that. But it's rumored to be that she was pregnant on the show because of what he said, and I don't really think so. I don't know, just the way Alisha was moving, and she just seems to be more of a physical attraction type of girl. I don't see how it's impossible that she got pregnant after the show, being that they're all living under one roof. So that tells me this is before quarantine. This is before COVID really hit big in March. So we're 11 months in now watching this show. So it's very much so possible that she got pregnant probably shortly after, But I wonder who did find love on the show, because I went looking for Alicia's page so I can get some more tea on this pregnancy. And a lot of the cast crew is looking real single. I don't know if they're just trying to keep it on the wraps until till the reunion or whatnot. But it is rumored. I'm not gonna say rumored, but according to a source online, David, Bryan, and Edwin were all spotted out, and a lot of them been looking real single. Like Bryan and David, they've been looking real single online. So many of them, also I learned are like aspiring actresses. So I mean, I love the show. I'm a fan of the show since season 1. So I'm hoping it's genuine. But as always, when it comes to shows like this, you are gonna have people, Shay, who ain't there for the right reasons, you know. The episode ends on an explosive note with Anthony and Denise having this date, right? Anthony says that Denise is his number one prospect, and so I guess that answers my question about who he was vibing with. I wonder why he didn't say that, or if they cut that out when they was in Uncle Tommy's tavern. Don't be trying to, like, you know, play it low key around some other men that's feeling me. If you feeling me too, like, I don't. But I do like Anthony though. I do like him. I don't get fuck boy as I do other people. Y'all know who I'm talking about, so I don't feel like I have to say it. Okay. And Denise suggests, you know, while they're playing this game, I think it was horseshoe. Is it horseshoe? I don't know. You guys correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But she suggests that the loser has to go skinny dipping in the pool. And, you know, Anthony says he loves this idea. Like, it's the spontaneous factor for him. He just was liking that. He was like, it put a little pep in his step. Denise loses the game and she gets in the pool with just her bottoms on, and Anthony followed right after her with the same, with just his boxer briefs or not pajamas. I mean my pajamas. That's what I'm thinking about, pajamas. His swim trunks. Next week, the switch of power is going to be handed to the ladies, and they're going to be sending one guy home, and Uncle Tommy is going to be sending the girls' best friends to help them make the decision. So I will be back with that review, you guys. So stay tuned for that. In the meanwhile, scroll the wall, scroll the wall, and go ahead and check out some other videos. Until next time, I appreciate you guys for watching. Later.